Steven Correño with the great Derrick James. Man, this is my first time at the gym, man. Thank you so much for having us. This gym is hot. Your fighters don't have trouble making weight, huh?
No, not at all, man. It's like, not only that, normally we have a heater on when they're training also. So, and if not, we have a sauna in the back. So we got everything you need to lose the weight in here.
It's perfect, man. I'm about to make weight too on right. Man, I heard you talking about the first time you met Errol, and you guys sparred. He was a little scared to hit you. You know, what did he ever get a land a shot on? Did he ever throw anything at you?
Well, he threw some punches when he realized I wasn't gonna hit him back. I kept saying, "Come on, man, I'm not gonna hit you back." But so he threw some punches, you know, and he once, you know, it was pretty funny because he was just like, his eyes was just like, but when he realized he had it was okay. Right.
When also apparently he didn't talk to you either. Were you like in the first couple years? It was after that, right?
Well, like 3 years after that, he was like 18 years old at the time. And yeah, we didn't talk, man. It was just like we just came to the gym and worked out. I mean, it was all strictly business. The results were speaking for itself. So I guess he didn't want a conversation until I think after. It was like 3 years later, and he called me, and like I said, I didn't even know his voice on the telephone. I was like, "Who is this?" He's like, "What do you mean, who is this?" Like, I'm like, "Yeah, who is this?" He's like, "This is EJ." I'm like, "Who?" He said, I said, "Man, I don't know how you sound. I don't know." And you think about it, 3 years later, you still don't know somebody's voice. Yeah, so yeah, it was pretty funny.
Did you know he was getting paid $20 to come?
Getting paid, I would have got my cut.
You would ask Cedar for something?
Oh, yeah. Ask him for a couple dollars if I'm gonna get that. But yeah, okay, it's okay.
Right. Man, you guys are facing Yordenis Ugas. Tricky guy, good jab, keeps his distance very well. Is any of those aspects maybe something you had to work on more just for Ugas, specifically for this camp?
Yeah, everything is everything we specify for Ugas because he's a special type of fighter. He's a special kind of guy. So you got to make sure that you're prepared for whatever he has. He's very tricky, very intelligent, and he has a great corner behind him. So I think that the strategize and everything they do is like really kind of different because he's so intelligent. But you know, we have something for that.
Having watched his fight with Manny Pacquiao, were you guys watching that and thinking, man, this was our moment, this was our time?
No, I mean, I just watched it as a fan. I mean, I went to the fight, I was at the fight, I had somebody else fighting on the undercard, so I watched it as a fan. I really had no feelings towards it. I wanted him to win the fight. I felt like it was like this, it was all set up for him to be successful. And I told him I wanted him to be successful and go capitalize on the situation.
I remember you said on the Last Stand podcast with Brian, you said that you feel it's maybe almost disrespectful that people kind of keep questioning Errol. He's unified already. Where does that stem from? Is that possibly because he hasn't faced Terrence Crawford yet, or do you think that's just boxing and boxing fans sometimes do that?
I think that people want a flair. They want to see a show. Technique and people didn't really care for Larry Bird or Kevin McHale either, right? They're very fundamentally sound, very technically sound. And you know, they wanted to see a show. They wanted to see a show, and we're giving specific technique, great technical background, and most people they want to see some flair or switch up. I think it's crazy, but yeah, I mean, that's what it is, man. They want a show.
I heard you mention in that interview as well, you don't do 1, 2, 3 combinations on the pads. It's like single shots, power shots, because you said guys get out. Where did you learn that?
Not necessarily power shots, but each shot, I mean, it's like all about the body and the rotation. And everything I do is for a defensive perspective. Everything I do is from a defensive perspective. Everything I do is to keep you in a better perspective where you shouldn't get hit or at a range where you're safe. So that's really what my idea for that situation is.
This little guy. Oh, how has it been having the Errol III here?
Enjoy it.
Do you feel it motivates Errol any more or less from? I mean, I know his girls are always in the gym as well.
I think that when you can look at it and see your future and see what you're working for, there's no more inspiration. You think about everybody goes to work every day for a particular reason, but to be at your job and see your kid there, this is why you're doing it. Hey man, it's more inspiration. You get tired and you just, hey, look over there, hear him speaking, it picks you up.
I heard you guys talking, Errol Spence was at like 75% or something like that against Danny Garcia. Was there any concern going in that for that reason that, man, he's not?
I just knew that you don't think about it, right? You don't think about it until after it's done. I mean, you know, you realize just how really good he really is, and what he had to go through and all the adversities, and how he pushes himself to continue to be great. So you don't think about what his inadequacies or what he's not doing well or what he can't do. You just focus on getting him better to be successful for that particular night, that particular day.
And I want to ask, quickly peeking into the future, Frank Martin is with you guys. It looks like the real. There's some big cosigns with you and Errol. You know, getting behind him. What could you tell us about Martin for those who haven't seen?
Martin's a phenomenal fighter. He's a young, great fighter, man, and he's very talented, very intelligent, and he's constantly growing. He's always in the gym watching Errol, watching Jamel, watching the guys train. So he's focused on being better and growing. It's beautiful.
Awesome. Derrick, best of luck Saturday, man. Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.